Welcome to the Property Investment Podcast. Now today I speak with Jason Huljich, who is the joint CEO of Centuria Capital Ltd. Now Centuria Capital Ltd has $9.5 billion worth of funds under management in Australia and New Zealand, primarily in the real estate investment sector. So today Jason and I speak through their industrial portfolio, their commercial portfolio and their healthcare portfolio. We talk through debt levels and we talk through their financial year 2020 results and their growth forecasts for 2021. I hope you enjoy. The Property Investment Podcast is brought to you by Golden Goose Capital. Golden Goose Capital has, in conjunction with MP Funds Management, provided funding for over $1.3 billion of investment-grade real estate transactions and provided an investment return of 22% across the board, with the lowest being 9% and the highest being 42%. For more, go to www.goldengoosecapital.com. Centuria Capital Limited. You guys have got $9.5 billion under management and you've had some fabulous 2020 financial results. Before we go into that though, can we just start with the organisational structure?
Yeah, sure. So we, CNI is a listed fund manager. So yeah, we've got about $9.5 billion of assets under management. That's split between unlisted and listed funds. So we've got two REITs. We've got our Office REIT, COF, which has got about $2.1 billion of assets, 23 high quality office buildings all around Australia. It's the largest sector specific office REIT on the ASX. And then we've got CIP, Centuria Industrial REIT. So that's got exactly the same, 2.1 billion, 53 industrial assets around Australia as well. And that's the largest domestic industrial REIT on the market as well. On the unlisted side, we've got a mix of office and healthcare. So we've got 12 office unlisted funds of about $2 billion. And then about 12 months ago, we took over a majority share of Heathley, which was a fund manager that's been around for 40 years, but for the last 10 years, they have specialised in healthcare. And they built up about $750 million of healthcare assets, so 50 assets around the country, everything from medical centres to private hospitals and some aged care as well. So that we're very excited about that. We've spent 12 months sort of integrating them into the business, but now we're just launching a brand new fund, which will be an open-ended healthcare fund. So we've got 6 assets that are make up the seed assets for that portfolio, 3 private hospitals and 3 medical centres, and we're actually launching that today. So and so far it's going really well from the soft sounding, so that should be heavily oversubscribed. But I can see healthcare, especially in this sort of environment, being a really big pillar of growth for Centuria. So they're the main parts of the business.
Excellent. And so let's just talk about the Centuria headstock for a little bit and your 2020 financial year results.
Yeah, sure. Look, I think we've had a really strong 2020, even with obviously the COVID disruption. We were quite fortunate within the first 6 months of the financial year, so late calendar 19, we had a huge 6 months where we bought about $1.2 billion of assets. So we had a really good run before COVID started, which really helped us. So when we announced our results 10 days ago, we met dividend guidance and we actually beat our earnings guidance as well. So it was actually really good in this environment to have such positive results. But look, as a platform, I think we're very lucky. If you go back 5 years ago, we were just an unlisted and we were just an office. So we were in a very small sector of the market. And then 5 years ago, we launched a listed office REIT. And back then it was really small, it was only a couple $100 million. And then we got into industrial 3 years ago and we built up that industrial REIT. And over 12 months ago, we got into healthcare. So we've been very lucky to diversify. And what it's given us is a nice platform now that we've got a lot of vehicles where we can grow. So if you look at the market right now, the industrial market is extremely strong, and we'll get to the REIT, but there's a lot of people looking to invest in that market, so we can raise a lot of capital provided we can find the opportunities. Healthcare, again, extremely strong. Both these sectors are trading at pricing, pre-COVID pricing, or even firmer. So we're in two really good new sectors that are growing very strongly. Office, we're big in office. We're particularly big in metropolitan office, so outside the CBDs. But with COVID and the whole working from home thematic at the moment, office has slowed a bit, so it's great to be diversified and have these other sectors which we can grow while office takes a little bit of a break.
Thanks for tuning in to the first 5 minutes of the Property Investment Podcast. The Property Investment Podcast aims to bring together the best minds in the investment-grade real estate sector. For the full episode and access to the live follow-up webinar, go to the MP Report Premium subscription at www.my-property-report.com.